Yo, yo. 1, 2, 1, 2. And we're back. What is good, everybody? Who was checking out that Kendrick diss? I didn't know that I was going to get a Kendrick diss on a Tuesday afternoon. Thank you, Slick P. Have we got Slick in the chat? I need to... Oh, he's in the chat. Let me move this so I can actually see my chat box. Bear with me, friends. Bear with me. Oh, much better. Slick P interrupting my Kendrick reacts. Dude, we could do that together. I'm all for it. You ain't got to tell me twice. Let's put this chat box over here so I don't have to lean so far. Man, what a day, huh? What a day. I just finished up a session with like a younger producer, which was really, really nice. Had a lot of great questions about like kind of making your own sounds. I think I've still got the session open. Yeah, I do still have the session open. Just kind of making your own sounds in Ableton. And like, he didn't have a lot of music theory and was looking at, firstly, like just how do you create, you know, like this is basic stuff for our older, more experienced producers. But, you know, like if you're starting, it doesn't hurt to go over it. Like if you're starting a piano progression, first of all, we looked at just writing a piano progression without music theory, which I think is always beneficial. And then the other thing is like, once you've written that progression, like how do you, I think this one that we wrote after was a little bit better. how do you like make that, your own sound? So add in a little bit of a bus, the importance of using the bus. So we can kind of dial in those effects and maybe add in some plugins at the end to kind of like, again, give it some character. And basically how you can add any pad underneath that to give it, again, an extra depth, an extra layer. So this guy kind of starts doing the heavy lifting to give it a little bit more character. So that when you sell those packs or whatever it is that you're going to do, that producer goes, where did they get these sounds from? And then we went full circle to what was last week's episode, which was, basically taking any sound you like. I got some sound here. Any sound you like, which we took some wave sounds. And making that into, like a random pad. So if I play a big C chord here, C chord, G sharp chord, we can kind of like take those hybrid reverbs and things that are on the end. Where's my sustain pedal? So add a couple notes on top. So we've got the hybrid reverb, the delay. We can we can do like all of our intro stuff after that, which gets quite fun. And we could put that under our piano as well. So I was kind of teaching him, just having the intro, something nice and mellow, something basic, adding that sound on top, our new sound. And then he's a drill kid, so adding those drill patterns underneath. Do we want to take it from something that again is a loop? That was his main question, is I'm using loops all the time. So how can we make something that we use all the time into our own, chopping that up on sampler or simpler perhaps. So using it in a new order and then filling in those gaps. I just took an 808 hi-hat, gave it a little bit of automation underneath. So it had a little bit of humanization. You can see those up and down lines in the back there. Just to fill in those gaps a little bit. Super easy to kind of like get your own sound there. Oh, amazing. Can't hear Ableton. I'm glad I got that far through. And then someone mentioned you can't hear Ableton. I had the sound so far down. Why can I never have a stream where just everything works as it's meant to? God, I cut off the bottom of my chat as well. Let's get this sorted. Let's make sure we can see everything. The chat box is ultra small today. Not sure why that is. Bear with me, lovely people. How's everybody been doing? Oh, see, look, I didn't see like Max and tuberculosis comment and tuberculosis fish. What a name. Oh my goodness. Welcome, tuberculosis fish. How did you go about creating that lovely name of yours? It's so unique. Is that going to stay open whilst No. I come over to my Ableton window and then I lose my little chat box. Now it's louder. It's on my headphones. So that was probably it. No, it was definitely my fault. Don't do yourself like that, Slick. It was definitely my user error, not you. It's always me. Where can I put this little chat box? There we go. So yeah, just kind of showing again for the more advanced producers, just showing everybody, or just showing the student I just sat down with. I think I got one place, by the way, for if you want to study with me 1-to-1. I think I still got one place or one or two places, maybe a weekly and a monthly spot over at the Patreon. But yeah, he just wanted to kind of dive through how do we make sounds our own? How do we create chords? It was a really vast lesson. Someone, puts you on the spot like that. It's like, I don't have much music theory. I use loops a lot. I want to create my own chords and I want it to be my own sound. It's like, all right, we got We got a lot to cover here. But yeah, man, my chat box is all over the shit today. I'm going to keep it popped out, and then I'm just going to keep coming back to it. Can I keep it on this screen? Maybe up here? See, it disappears every time I click out of it. Listen, I got a little, what time frames do I work in and what time zone? So I'm in GMT, and right now, if you're asking about my streams, they're kind of dotted around, kind of just as and when. Best place to find out when I stream is head over to the Discord, and I got a little live stream pings there, and I just kind of throw the alert out to everybody for one-on-one. Apologies, tuberculosis fish. All time zones. I think Mondays and Tuesdays for the US crowds. We got some folks from Brazil that sit down with me, Mexico. Friday, Sundays normally for the English crowd. There's like a range of time zones, and the calendar that you use when you want to study with me one-to-one and book in your time, that converts to your time zone. So you don't have to worry about like, he's GMT and I'm blah, blah, blah. It will just say whatever time zone you're in, and you book for the time that works for you. But like I said, there's some weekly or a weekly spot, I think, and maybe 1 or 2 monthly spots. But yeah, man, how's everybody doing? Now I can see the whole chat. I hope you're doing good. Me and Slick were listening to the Kendrick diss today. I haven't read your latest messages, Slick, but I saw the preview, and I feel like we're both leaning the same way. Is that Kendrick? He's smart. He'd put out some bait first, and I think this is just a little appetizer to get people on the hook. And the real, people are going to be like, oh, he's gone so hard. He's come out on top. But I think the real heavy coming for you is the next one. If somebody bites, Drake, let's see what happens with King Push, getting his name thrown in there. J. Cole, whoever. If somebody bites, I think the next beat that he puts out is going to be like, okay, because he's already working on that for sure. But yeah, man. Throw any questions that you have at me. I want to be here for the next, 30 minutes, 40 minutes maybe, hanging out. I might work on a beat. I got something from Bad at Math the other day. We're going to work on another Collaboroonie. I think I can get rid of this now. So maybe I'll drag that in and see what the stems are looking like. I might just cook up a beat. I might just hang out and chat. I don't really know what the plan is just yet. But yeah. Where should I put my chat box for now? Let's put it over here. I wish I could do like a full screen chat box. I'm sure there is a way. But I'll keep it over there now. The SP progress is going well. Thank you for asking, Slick. The SP progress is going well. Actually, I might be able to. Let's put this on screen. And then can I move this over so you guys can see the chat? That's a bit crap, innit? It's a little bit limiting, but still. We're going to have it up here just for now. But yeah, the SP progress is going well. And then the problem is I got the SP when all of the updates are being rolled out. So like anything I learn, it's like, oh, there's another update. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, okay, what's DJ mode? So I'm just trying to keep up. But I'm enjoying I don't understand this. It's not plugged in right now, and I left the charger in the other room. But I don't understand why more people don't use this as a beat, like a finger drumming device. The pads are perfect for finger drumming. They're close enough together. They're big enough. I don't see that many people finger drumming. I just see everybody doing the effect and making it lo-fi and stuff. So I've been having fun setting my longer samples to 1 to 8, and then having my drums down at the bottom. And then, as I was saying to Slick before the stream, I've also kind of got a thing going where I have the SP off to the side of the drum kit, like the actual physical drum kit. And I'm just kind of like launching samples, but I can't figure out if I want to do kick, snare, hat, or kick with my foot, hat with my foot, snare with my hand and toms and stuff, and then be like launching my samples over here, maybe with some hats. I know Datsun did something similar. Or just have like it off to the side. I'm not really sure because I always want to put my own spin on things. But yeah, I'm like, I'm just having a blast, man. Alejandro says, how do you come up with B sections? It depends what kind of way you want to go about like creating that new section. I like kind of, if you're creating a ternary based song, then you're going to have like maybe a different chord progression. I like kind of that kind of like house narrative to a song. I use pretty much the same chord progressions throughout, or I'll limit that chord progression. But creating inversions is a really great way to do that, and like resampling. So we can do that real quick with like, I'm going to put that off to the side. And Luca, I'm going to come back to your question in a sec, so don't let me forget. I haven't read it yet, but I see your name pop up. Let's get a sample real quick. Let's just get like a music song starter sample, something easy, right? Okay, that's kind of fun. I've not used this, as you can see. I'm just downloading it. Oh, you can't see anything. So I'm just downloading this. And then it's so funny, now I have the screen off to the side. I'll not forget that I'll not forget that I haven't changed the camera, but now apparently I'll forget to turn the music back up. So we've got this sample here, right? Okay, so this is quite a long sample. So first off, there's the case that this could be your B section. So we've got a sample. Oh my God. Did you see me keep picking this color? So we've got a sample and this is our A section. And this is our B section. It's doing something slightly different. Maybe we make it our own. So we have this. And of course you can do like the classic hip hop thing of just like doing the semitonal music. So the first like part of your track is you get it. So it's just like kind of going up 2 semitones, down 2 semitones, make a nice loop there. And now you've got a lot to work with. So we can use pitch, but let's do something maybe a little bit more creative. So that's let's say that this is my whole sample. And then I want to go to a B section after that. That B section, I'm going to go with Shift Command T to bring up a new MIDI lane. And then I'm going to slice this by beat. Quarter note divisions. Let's find it on my keyboard. Cool. So if we get some drums, just so we kind of have something to work with, so it's easier for you guys to imagine what's going on. I'll show you a few ways that we can kind of flip this. Luca, I'm not going to forget your question, buddy. I'm going to come back to it. Oh, that's kind of fun. Let's use this first one. Okay, it's going to be kind of fast. All right, cool. So I'm liking that. Dude, my Mac has been acting up. This little taskbar pops up and just doesn't disappear for ages. So we've got this. This is working nice. We're going to come over to here. We're going to put it as a sampled instrument, quarter notes. So this is one way that we could go about it. And we're going to make sure that it's turned up. So we're coming from here. And we might want to just transpose it back to where it was. Cool. Where is it? There's our sample. So So you find like a new rhythm. So finding a new rhythm can be a really great way to kind of like flip that. Another great way, something that I'm going to allude to in, I think, this week's video or next week's video, is like taking something like an auto pan. This trick is being used loads at the minute. And just giving some movement to your beat. So let's do this. We're going to put it on 360 phase, and we're going to offset this so it fades in. Cool. And we'll do this at maybe 8th notes. Yeah, cool. So the first time, we'll put this on a new track. First time we're hearing it like this. Cool, now we're going to like, we can introduce some change here. And do a little halftime thing. Maybe we reverse stuff. And we can introduce the beat back then. So that would be like a real nice place. So we had this ending chord and then reversed it. And we can kind of build that back up into this beat again. So we could have like a riser. Just place that same reverse note. So we're keeping a little skippy bit there. Two, three. So we can create these like nice little moments by just using the sample in an interesting way. I've done a video about this before where you take the same, even if it's the same thing, and you don't, you know, like you don't do anything with it. You don't put it on a chop. You don't add the tremolo or anything like that. You can create a new vibe by automating the EQ. So let's say that we did a halftime thing. Get the EQ. I don't know why I keep choosing EQ3. EQ8, please, sir. Let's put it on quite a steep curve. And then we'll loop this here. And we'll just draw in like a fun pattern. Some kind of like sweep. Cool, I kind of like that. Let's make it quicker, shall we? Let's do something back here. Mm-hmm. Change the rhythm in the second part. Maybe not have it come all the way down. Cool. So we got something like that. Maybe here we'll do some little like up down action. I don't know what that's going to sound like, but that can be like our new kind of rhythm. Put a little bit of reverb on that. So it'll just kind of flick off the end every time it comes up, which is kind of nice. So now you're going from something that was maybe bypassed and double time without the hybrid reverb. And now our B section. So you just like kind of loop that pattern up. That was like such a vibe. You put some lasers over that. chimes. We'll just reverse that last chord and change this bit. So this is reversed. And then you're back into it. So that's like kind of cool. It's kind of a nice way to kind of flip what's going on. So there's a bunch of ways to skin a cat. I actually have a video on like all the ways you can flip the same sample. And that's probably long overdue an update. But yeah, you know, if you're doing it with samples, there's a bunch of ways to do it. If you're doing it with chords, I would like create inversions of those chord progressions and change the order, create tension. So if it's a 4-chord progression, so let's say that, again, let's do this, and then I'm going to check out what Luca was saying, so Shift-Command-T. Let's say you've got a chord progression. Let's go with the upright piano, which is in where user, packs. There we go. Cool. So we've got this here. Let's not worry about sound too much, but let's get it in a nicer octave. Okay, cool. So let's record something in. Okay, cool. Let's take these, make them all legato. Okay, so let's say that this is our A section. It's a nice little chord progression. We'll come back to that. Our B section might want to be like inversions of these. So take some of these middle notes and just shift up. Shift up. See where they work. Shift down. And see where those new patterns are. And also change like from 4 chords to maybe 3. So this is going to create tension. And just let that space kind of drift up, and then in your A section you can get busy again. So I hope that helps. It's just like a couple little tidbits. I'm going to scroll back up because I missed what Luca asked. So Luca said, I have one question. I plan to release music. I plan to release music for the first time, and it's an EP of 5 songs. But as a first release, I don't know what the first strategy could be. Release one single first or something different? Oh, cool. So, yeah, this is a good question. You want to research basically a waterfall release. If this is your first ever music that you're putting out, I've tried so many strategies, but the waterfall release really doesn't go wrong. I wouldn't worry if this is your first ever release and you've got an EP ready. I wouldn't ever worry about an EP. I would just do singles, because 5 singles will get you so much further than 1 single and 1 EP. Even if that single is or isn't included. 2 singles and an EP won't get you as far as 5 singles. You can always release the EP if you want to at the end. So you do 4 singles and then the EP, which has a bonus track on it. But really think about, in this day and age, why the devil would we release an EP or an album? Because if you're a first time artist and and everybody's got their own reasons. It might be because, I just want to put out a body of work. Then that's completely valid. But if your audience is going to Spotify, do you know what I do? I play the artist in Spotify and it automatically goes to their other tracks. So if you're a new artist and you only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tracks, then those tracks are going to get played anyway. And you compiling them into an EP just separates your analytics. So you're like, oh, okay, I got 500 plays with the first single, but then some of the people listen to the same single on the EP and they played this version. So like, I wouldn't worry about that too much. The other thing that can be helpful, I don't mean this in a nasty way to anybody that has done it hasn't done it, is thinking about it, whatever. But also like thinking about patronizing your audience and what bores your audience. I always talk about quick intros. So we live in a day where people just want content. And one of the things that people get bored with is those long intros, right? You have a 40-second intro that gives a lot of opportunity for people to skip that song if they don't like it. The same thing goes for singles and an EP. You release a single, oh, cool, new single. Release another single, oh, wicked, new single. Release another single, oh, I'm going to check that out. Then you release an EP and it's got those singles on it. The audience will go, let's say you put track A as the brand new single, and then there's 3 tracks they've heard and there's a bonus single at the end. They'll like listen to that first one and go, oh, this is the same as what I heard before. Okay. And they might not make it till the end of the EP. So I like to just do a waterfall release. Just have those singles come out, then the EP if you want to. But really, if you're a new time artist, just single after single after single after single is going to be your best asset. And really what you want to mostly worry about, instead of like, should I put out an EP? Should I put out singles first? Or anything like that, is how are you going to market it? The worst thing that new artists do is they have a track come out, and the day of the track, they go on their Instagram story and they're like, new track, link in bio. And then after that new track, they never mention the song again. And it's like, oh, not many people really listen to my song. Hopefully next time you work on another track and then the same day you release that track and then you just tell people about it, maybe talk about it in the week. That's it. So really create a marketing campaign of like, I tell a lot of the, in a lot of my coaching sessions, when I sit down in those one-to-one sessions over the Patreon, I tell a lot of people to like really think about your marketing of a single like 6 weeks out if you really care about it. So you've put your track on streaming services, it's ready to go, maybe it's 3 or 4 weeks out, and you've kind of got a plan where you're like, that single is finished, how am I going to get people to hear that single, and how am I going to get a bit of an earworm? What I like to do, and I do a whole like coaching session on this of how you want to market your track. What I like to do is give people like a behind the scenes thing. So you don't actually have to document you making the song in real time behind the scenes, but what you can do is once the track is finished, you can see that I've got live here. What I can do in live, if I had a bunch of tracks, is okay, well, let me just mute these and let me set up a new recording track. If you know your way around Premiere Pro, you can like crop some of this screen or whatever. You can set up a new recording track down here that doesn't have anything on. You can set that to record. And you can just, play out your new thing on a new line, and they can hear the music, and you can act like, okay, this is the making of that single. I let people hear the ambient parts of the track before I've put the drums and all of the chords and the vocals and stuff on it. So they get like a little bit of the kind of behind the scenes. They get the ambient version. They get like the raw, like me recording it version. They get a version of like me maybe messing it up. So I just played, where's my chords here? So I might, create a video where I'm a bit, no. I'm just kind of working out. I know the track. I've already created it, but I let the audience into this intimate DIY recording of the track, which I've done in post, which they don't know it's actually pre and whatever, where maybe I've made some errors, maybe I've made some bum notes, and they get to be in this narrative where they've seen me build the track again. So like ways like that you can do that. I do the same with artwork. When I tease the artwork, I often do it in Photoshop. I'm still like a manual kid. I don't really like to use AI tools, but if I do, I use lots of different layers of AI images, and then I kind of make a collage. So I'll show people like, here was the base sketch, here was the first layers coming in, here are the parts I changed, here were the different fonts that get stripped away. And again, a little bit savvy with Premiere Pro, so you can add some animations of those things coming in with, again, the ambience of the track, or again, just the melody, or again, the acoustic version of the track if you're an artist that is recording a band or something like that. So I'd really think about your marketing rather than how shall I like release these as singles or whatever. Let's have a little look at the comments, because these comments are going past. I'm missing them. What do you think about Jasper Tiger's music? Yeah, I think we used to follow each other on Instagram, but I love him. He's playing loads of big festivals. Jasper does such good. If you don't know Jasper Tiger, does such good like live creations of his tracks. I don't know if any of this will be on YouTube, but yeah, the dude's a don. See, this could be a good example of a track that's already recorded and we're just miming out the parts. Everybody's miming these days. Yeah, man, miming. Guy's killing it. But what it really works. The audience that aren't producers, they get to enjoy this. And I didn't even show my screen. Let's fucking show Jasper Tiger off a little bit. There's me saying I don't forget about it anymore. You know, so the audience that doesn't know about music production, they get like a little insight into this, and then we just get to enjoy a sick track. Yeah, dude, nothing but love for the guy. He's awesome. It's good to see him like headlining festivals and stuff now. Yeah, man, I could do some synth design stuff based on him. I don't think he has no disrespect, but I'm sure he would agree with this. I don't think he has like a particularly... He's not like, there's not a sound that's like a Jasper Tiger sound. Do you know what I mean? They're all like sounds that I've heard from these instruments, or, you know, they're like a amalgamation of like a bicep synth or a floating point synth or something like that. But yeah, man, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. How do you quantize MIDI in Ableton? Shift Command U to bring open the different quantize preferences, and then Command U. So we've got something here in Ableton. We go select everything. If we're in like launch or transform is closed, Shift Command U. Oh, see this guy appear? If we're in Ableton 11, it will be a window in the middle, but transform and quantize appears. And then we can either just select our options, or if we already have something selected, we can just go Command U, and you can see these all jump into space. So I already had, I think, 16ths selected or 30 seconds. I hit Command U, and it all jumps into place. If I just have them selected and I choose 8ths, that will just jump into place right there. If they don't jump into space for whatever reason, it's because I haven't hit transform. And now they do that. Nice easy one. Nice easy little question there. I like that. What are you saying, chat? When do you gain stage in your production process? Pretty much all the way through. I'll be like making stuff and generally gain staging as I go. But you know, towards the end of the process, if I've got all my instruments there, I go back through the track and I start to like gain stage. But it's mostly helpful just to do it as you go, because then you're gonna get a better idea. Like I've started working with my master chain on the end. So you guys have seen, if you're part of the Patreon, you've probably got this already. But I have like how you guys find in Ableton Live 12? I still don't know if I enjoy it. But I've got my templates and stuff. Oh, maybe I don't even have it in here yet. I think I got my templates in Live 11. Let's open that. But I've started working with my master chain on. Do I even have that in it? Live 11? I've been working so often in Live 11 and not Live 12. I'll be really candid with you guys that I still haven't really caught up with where everything is in Live 12. Oh, you know what it might be? It might be because I transferred everything in my hard drive, so now it can't find all of my things. Oh, that's kind of annoying. Nonetheless, let's see if my templates are there. Oh my God, I moved my templates as well. Guys, I got a lot of admin work to do to try and bring everything back. Let's go with the routing template just so our friends can see it. Cool, so we'll dive back into Live 12. And we can close live 11. Cool. So this is my routing template. It's over at the Patreon. And this is helpful just to kind of gain stage as I go along. So you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, I'm sure it's a little bit small. I got like -10, -10, -10. So these things are already quiet and some things are turned on and off. So I'm starting with the instruments that are out of bypass. And then as I kind of like work through this track, maybe pulling up some of these levels, pulling down these levels, helping myself. But in my like master chain, what I've started to do is actually work with, oh, maybe I name everything master when I'm working on masters. So let's try and look for an ADG file. So I'll start working with like my master chain on, just so it's louder, so I kind of get an idea of how it's going to sound. It doesn't mean that my track is already mastered. Let's not think like that. But I get an idea of how loud my track is and that I can hear everything, so that at the end, when I start adding these plugins, and I do start putting that threshold down and I do start adjusting that EQ, they're kind of already there and I'm making minute adjustments. And I'm not suddenly like, where did that hi-hat come from? Everything is relatively loud, and I've gained staged as we go along. So I'm basically only doing some subtractive EQ at the end, or in theory. I know that's not always the case when we're building our tracks, but in theory, I should only be doing some like subtractive stuff. Awesome. Could we watch some of his reels and analyze? Why am I? It's like I was having a stroke there. Can we watch some of his reels and analyze it? It's much easier when I don't look at the text. Do you see me try and figure out how to say analyze? We could. I don't want to do it tonight because I'm only here for like maybe another 10 or so minutes, but I want to get through some of the comments, but we could do that in future for sure. Select all in piano. Oh, we were talking about quantizing. Thanks. I was going crazy trying to figure that out. No worries. The thing that I made, it sounds cohesive, so it's like the tracks are meant to be played together. I feel singles would give it more traction, probably. So it's kind of choosing between R and numbers. Yeah, it's absolutely choosing between R and numbers. Depends why you're doing this. Like I sit down with so many clients at the Patreon when we do our one-to-one sessions, and they're like, Will, I don't care about marketing my track. I just want to be a better musician. I just want to be a better producer. I just want to make better art. I do this for a cathartic purpose, and I enjoy, creating, and that's totally valid. And if you want to put out like an art project, that's totally valid. If you want to see like numbers and it appear in more people's playlists, then I'd go the single route. Something that I think is really creative, if they're still like lying in your bank of songs, on in Ableton or whatever DAW you use, maybe make some edits to the ends or intros to those tracks. If they're cohesive and they sound good together, it shouldn't matter if they're singles or not. I remember listening to Something Something, which is the artist name, quite a while ago, and he was releasing, I don't know if I'll be able to find these again. I hope I can. But he was releasing singles, and he made it so obvious that they were eventually going to be like part of a bigger project. Let's see if we can find this real quick, because I thought it was so much fun to listen to. I think it might be this one up here. But it basically like started or ended the same as the previous single. Let's see if I can find this. I might get this wrong in real time. I'm also going to demonetize myself by playing these tracks, but whatever. Yeah, so I think it was like these two. It might have been the one before as well, where like this obviously starts on a stab. But it ends so nicely with like the key of this one. So listening to those back to back was a pleasure. I don't think it was that one. What were these tracks? We have to go back quite far. I'm sure it was around the pandemic. I might have even not been far enough. When was the pandemic? 2020? Trying to remember when I got held hostage in my own home. It's a fun story. It's in here somewhere. Again, these little stabs, they work really nice. From going from track to track. I'll find it eventually and I'll share it in Discord. But you know, make some edits of your songs so that even as singles they blend together quite well. You can do that really easy with like a washed out reverb and a stab, and just having like fades. And if they're in like a nice key, you know, think of like the end of Malcolm in the Middle. Where is my brain tonight? Think of the end of Mac Miller's Circles album and the first track of that album. If you were just like listening to that in the old tape days, you would probably just listen to from it, you know, 1 to 12 or whatever. But then in the digital age, 1 to 12 and then back to 1, that last chord of the Circles album works really well with the first chord of that Circles album. So there's really creative ways to do it, even if you're just releasing singles. Aces, what else we got here? I used to use Logic Pro. I was a Logic user for like a good 10 years when I was working at colleges, or a college, sorry. And the only reason I jumped to Ableton, this is a true story, this before I came to YouTube, the only reason I jumped to Ableton was just to have a place to separate working in the DAW at my work, my 9 to 5, which we used Logic, I think back then it was 8 or 9, and to have something new to learn and something new to have fun with. So at work, I would use Logic from 9 to 5, and then outside of work, I would use Ableton and learn how to use that from like 5 to, you know, whatever time I was producing. But yeah, man, got love for both of them. I often find myself getting obsessed over some producers. They inspire me a lot, but at the same time, it does not feel healthy because I almost want to copy them. How do you deal with that? I start by copying them. We can use the routing template, which is at the Patreon, as an example. So this routing template, you can see at the top, it has intro, main loop, main with energy, break, build, main 2, and outro. This is actually obviously only at a minute's length, but when I wrote it out, this was to, I think, an Echo song. I think it was this. Was it Echo? Yeah, I'd done this to, I think, Pearl Jigsaw or maybe Clandestine, sorry. And yeah, just dropped it in and went, cool, this section here, this is the intro, this section here, this is the main loop, this section here is the main with energy. And then I just kind of grabbed these areas and brought them down and put them next to each other. And then that way, it gave me something to build here for 4 bars, something to build here for 8 bars, something to add to for 8 bars to give it a break. And then after that, I can separate these out, because once I've got this whole section of music, it's only a minute long, I can start to like, okay, let's duplicate this section and let's make this 16 bars and so on. So I started by, you know, with this template when it was just something that I used for personal use, put that track at the top. That's why we have this reference track here. That's why it's not going to the pre-master, it's going straight to the main. So we can kind of like listen to the reference and go, what parts of that track do we like? The other thing that I'll do is, like, if I am taking influence from an artist, which is perfectly fine, find a few artists and then create a Frankenstein track. So we're like going to use the intro from one particular artist, we're going to use the main loop from another artist, but I kind of like the B section of this third artist. Or maybe there's like just a drum break in one of those tracks, so we'll use the drum break from here, and then we'll use the intro as the main loop part, but I'm going to build on that, and the outro is actually something that I'd like to use as the intro. So again, you're not sampling those, don't get it twisted that I'm saying like sample these 3 artists, but you're just taking references. So in those reference parts, you kind of make these little chops of audio where you go, okay, this is going to lead to something. And also when you've got those reference tracks in Ableton, pitch them down, like do weird shit to them. So if this again was a reference track, let's get like a song starter. Cool. So maybe this is like a reference from like an MP3 of a finished song. This is like the 1975 or something. And I'm like, dude, I really like these guys. Well, let's firstly switch it up. Let's change the BPM of it. Let's not listen to it and pitch it down. And then let's also like get the EQ. Let's get Kickstart, if that's in here. I think it won't be because I changed where my plugins are. I don't know what's going on, if anybody can help me, by the way. But today I was like showing in one of my Zoom sessions, just dragging this. Look, you can see that I can drag it on, but now I can't open any of my plugins. It might be just because I moved stuff on my hard drive, but it's really annoying. Anyway, so we might have that. Let's go with the chorus. And then let's go with, I don't know, a saturator. And then we'll take this and we'll just go beats and pull that down a bit. So now what we've got is our reference, but we've just made a couple edits to it. Cool. See what I did with those chops? I really liked that chop here. Cool. Made a little reverse beat there. Gonna put that there. Put that there. So I'm making these like weird little kind of edits to something that was a reference. I pitched it down. Still everything inside that, and obviously that was super rough. We're not going to use that. But still everything inside that is the producer that I like, and it's the reference material. And don't forget, I'm maybe going to take 2 other producers, stick them either side, and do some things to those tracks. But because I've made them, pitched them, changed the speed, added chorus, added some effects, and then maybe exported and imported that so it's printed, I can't change it. Now I'm basing that on that new sound that I've created and kind of copying that. After a certain amount of time, I actually get rid of that copy. So maybe I've got the bass drums chords in, I get rid of that reference track. So I stop copying it and I let my imagination kind of take over, because you should have enough there to base your own reference track. So I hope that helps. Let's have a look at just a couple more comments, and then I'm gonna shoot off. Awesome. What else have we got? I'd love to see you do another video in the realm of Charles I, R.I.P., Supertask, Jade Cicada, Of the Trees, Tipper, all such great producers. Yeah, man. The only problem with those is they take so long to create. Like I remember doing that Charles I video, and it's just like so much processing. It's so much processing to do all of the bass wobbles and things like that. So it's a time-consuming one. So it's definitely there if the audience wants it. The only reason I haven't is because a lot of the audience want like lo-fi or ambient videos or something like that. So those time-consuming videos where I'm doing all these weird, like kind of weird, like oversampled, bit crushed dub wobbles, and then 5 people watch it. I'm like, oh man, I put so much effort into that, and there's just not an audience for it. But I'm a massive fan. Charles I is one of my favorite producers, like someone I really look up to. It's such a shame we lost him, but yeah, always got time for that. Urban Fabric, no worries, buddy. All my comments jumped all the way down. Sorry if I miss some of the comments. John Luke, what's up, man? I didn't even know you were in here. What's up, buddy? I hope you're doing good. We were nerding out at the beginning over Kendrick's reply. I wonder if you've heard it by now. Kendrick's new diss. Authenticity is a challenge. I totally agree with you. In the era of information, many content creators focus on recreating others. Absolutely. If you're good at writing lyrics and you want to showcase this to an artist or producers, what if you are good at writing lyrics, or you're a good lyricist and would want to showcase this to an artist or producers? Dude, just get a list together. Instagram, TikTok is your biggest asset. Put it on a SoundCloud private link as a playlist, and then ship it out. So your artists that you're hitting up, they have something to stream. They don't have to download it. Social media is going to be your biggest asset, and make sure that you've got a good like body of work on your Instagram. Before they click that link in a DM from a person they haven't heard from, they're probably going to check out your profile. And if you've got sick beats there of you actually playing them, it's not just the artwork that it all looks the same or whatever, like it's you miming or playing those sounds, people will generally like give you a little bit more time of the day. Maybe don't open up with the link either. Like, try and make a little bit of a conversation. follow that artist, be in their comment section, try and create a little bit of a rapport, a little bit of a lasting relationship, and then say, hey, I was really digging your last X amount of posts. This one especially spoke to me. I've built you 10 tracks, and then shoot that little SoundCloud playlist. That'd be the most helpful thing for sure. The same goes if you're good at writing lyrics and you want to showcase that to artists, or you want to write for them, be ghostwriters, anything like that. Awesome. Yeah, no, I'll keep it in mind. I'd love to do more experimental bass stuff, experimental synth stuff. I'm a big, I don't show it enough on the channel, but I think it speaks through. The channel's called Inspired By, right? It's supposed to be my inspirations of everything. I listen to everything from classical to jazz to new metal to breakcore to deathcore to hip hop. I'm a huge hip hop kid, but I used to go raving. I used to DJ. I love drum and bass. I love house music. I love techno. So I'm into it all. Whatever you guys want to see, that's why you got to be vocal in the comment sections of the YouTube videos, so I actually know, oh, okay, everybody's asking for this thing. It's got lots of upvotes. If people just keep saying, hey, do another lo-fi artist, do another lo-fi artist, that seems to be where the audience is at. I'm here to help you guys, not the other way around. So, I'm your, I'm your asset. So you ask me what you want, and I'll put it together. No worries. Awesome stuff. Lucas said that's definitely a good idea. They kind of already work like that when you're linking the singles together. That's awesome. So you don't even need to change anything, dude. Awesome. Dude, I get emotional every time I talk about Mac Miller. R.I.P. man, that's the boy. Cool. I'm just gonna skip down just to make sure I haven't missed anything. Apologies if I missed your comment. You got the template on Patreon out. Thank you so much. I hope it's helpful. A streamlined V2 would be great though, without as many channels. That is actually a good idea. Maybe like a beginner routing template. Yeah, for sure. I'll start working on that and drop it to the Patreon. Let me know if you want to see any new devices or any tools that you think are lacking at the minute, and I'll get on cooking those up. Also, I don't know how many people we've got tuning in, but something I'm really proud of, I'm not going to go anywhere just yet, but something that I'm really proud of is I finally launched a podcast. Jesus Christ, how long did it take me to start a podcast? But I dropped this today with my good friend Damian Taylor. He's a multi-platinum, multi-Grammy nominated, 10 times Grammy nominated producer. He's worked with everyone from Bjork to The Killers to The Prodigy. He's a silent member of Uncle. He worked with Totally Enormous Extinct Dinosaurs, aka Teed, Odette. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Great live performer, great producer. One of my friends, but one of my mentors as well. So couldn't think of a better first guest. I might change the thumbnails. Let me know what you think of the thumbnail here. Yeah, I am so proud of putting a podcast together. Bought a bunch of new gear, so it looks nice. I think it's well edited. The theme of the show is the highlights that led to your the lowlights that led to your biggest highlights. So we get a little bit more in the nitty gritty. It's not just talking to musicians and being like, so what was it like to be in the studio with Bjork? I've heard none of that shit. I'm not just going to be talking to musicians and producers, because for me, I don't actually get that much inspiration from producers. One of my favorite artist duos is Koan Sound. And I was so excited when if this is a homework activity for everybody in the chat, if you're just into sound, I think Koan Sound are phenomenal. And I think their album, Led by Ancient Light, should have been fucking album of the year for producers. And it's such a shame to see that they've only got 130 something, 130,000. I listen to them that often that I remember how many monthly listeners they've got. 130,000 monthly listeners, and about that amount on their plays of the album, because this is crazy good. I remember talking about it on a live stream before. Why was I bringing that up? Yeah, so they brought out their album. I was so excited to dive into the documentary. I don't know where it is. Maybe I should type in documentary. There you go. They did a Led by Ancient Light making of documentary, and it's just two dudes in a greenhouse being yeah, I love cello. It really, I keep forgetting to share my screen. This one here. Um, I loved using the cello on this album. Yeah, we worked with this producer, and we really looked up to them. And the piano chords mean a lot to me. It's so boring, so it meant so much to me to create a podcast and speak to other people outside of just musicians or just music producers, and really speak about the lowlights, speak about the things that was a struggle. Damien speaks about being on tour and having his first child be born and just having to travel the world. And then working on the Killers album, which led to him going bankrupt. Can you imagine working on the biggest band's album and that leads to you just losing more money because you're still paying rent on properties and you're on a different part of the world and you're having to rent a studio space and the budget is getting eaten up by the amount of days that you're spending in the studio, and everybody from the Killers is getting paid, but maybe the producer isn't yet because the album hasn't come out yet. Everything's backlogged. So going broke and that leading to the downfall of his marriage, and like having to deal with that, and you're divorced and you're in a different country and the kids are in a different country and trying to work all of that. And I don't mean this in a negative way, but I love those stories. I'm quite a depressive person. I get a lot of inspiration from those candid, semi-depressive moments because I like the come up story. In every episode, I ask, what is life like right now? And for some of the episodes, it's not always dandelions and rainbows. Sometimes it's like, well, I'm still doing the dog years, and that's fine because it's awesome to know somebody is still going through it, and they're like, yo, but I'm coming on podcasts, I'm doing this, I'm working on this album. I'm still unhappy sometimes. And on other episodes, as Damien said, he's like, every day I wake up and it feels like a dream. Like he's doing great. He's learned a lot of life lessons and he's putting those into practice. So please check that out. It's the Inspired by podcast. It will soon be out on streaming platforms, so you can listen to it as audio and pause it and go about your day and stuff, because I know that's how a lot of people like to listen to it. But for now, it's just up on the YouTube and we're only on episode 1. Please leave a comment on it and let me know if you thought it was shit. That's helpful. If you thought anything it was boring, I'll try and keep them to 60 minutes in future. But there was just nothing I wanted to cut out of this one. Let me know if you think anything should be changed, whether it be camera, lighting, sound, whatever, like the thumbnail, for instance. Have your say, make it your own. I've always listened to the community, and the podcast will be very much the same. Cool. Jonathan Visa says, I want to get into creating songs with other people, but I don't really know how. I want creative input from both of us, and I'm not sure how to involve them in my workflow. I have people I have plans to work with, just don't know how to make the best environment for us to create together. Everybody likes to work in a different way. Sending stems is massively helpful. Just sending a stem session. I was going to do it on the stream, but it ended up being a little bit of a Q&A, which was quite fun. Some people enjoy a little stem session. I send a lot of people a stem session. So what I mean by that, if you're not familiar, is drums, bass, guitar, keys, all the layers, all the vocals, everything as individual layers. And you just say, here's most of the song. It might be 32 bars. It might be 64. It might be an entire song with verse, chorus, and all that kind of thing. Here's most of the song. I'm not precious of any of it. And that allows them to take away bits and go, I want to add this. I want to do this with it, blah, blah, blah. It gets all different. SoundCloud's a great way to do that. I send and will be sending out, this is a little teaser to the community. I'll be sending something out probably within the next month or two. A big SoundCloud playlist. First come, first serve. You take the song that you want. Once that's downloaded, I'll make it private. So sending something like a playlist out to your collaborators is super helpful as well, because you can say, hey, I've worked on these 5, 10, however many vibes. What do you like? I'll send them over. And then other great ways to work with people is using, sites like BeatConnect or BandLab. With BeatConnect, it's a collaborative music creation software, a collaborative DAW, multiplayer DAW, we call it. So in this, you can have 2 people You can see their mouse, you can see what they're working on, you can type, you can be on voice call, you can have your camera in there, and you can work in the same DAW, even if you use Ableton and they use Logic. This isn't a sponsor. I just think these guys are great. And they're constantly updating their DAW. So you work in Ableton, your friend works in Logic. You both work separately, but this is kind of your medium place that you can see on the screen, and you can drag stuff straight out of Ableton or straight out of Logic or straight out of FL into this. You can also like have your collaborator use like Serum if they don't have it. You just give them access to the stuff that you have, which is really cool. So using like a tool like this is super helpful. But again, social media, terrific way to do it. Terrific way to go about it. Let me look at a couple more comments. This was fun. This was a fun little Q&A session. If you want to see more Q&A sessions, I'm happy to jump on here more often. I just didn't know so many people had questions. I haven't made any music today. I don't even have any keys up. I was going to maybe play some keys. What do we got here? Oh yeah, I've got my little reference template open. All right, let's look at one more question in here, and then I might shoot off. Kimmy, how do I say your name? Is it Kimmy Yuk? Kimmy UK? Kimmy Yuk? Let me know. I never said your name out loud before, but it's good to see you, buddy. The template video really did teach me a lot of how to route, limit, and sidechain in an easier way. Thanks a lot. My projects do sound much better and loud and also dynamically controlled. Yes! I put it on stream starting soon. I don't know when I did that, but dude, I'm so pleased. That's great. That's the whole aim. Maybe I should do a version 2 then. Yeah, do check out the podcast. I'm super proud of it. Raw should be in the new template. I've just started using Raw and I'm loving it. I gave it a bit of shade. I don't know if you heard me in a stream when Live 12 came out. I was like, what's the point in this? And now I'm actually like really into it. I've been using it a lot. So I think Raw would be in the new device template for sure. Oh, dude. DJ Shadow introducing such a significant album in my life. We got Jono in the house. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. Hopefully I haven't missed anything too important. Apologies, because the chat was moving quite quick at one point that I've kind of like lost where I am. And my contacts have dried out. You can see me squinting, try and read all of these comments. Urban Fabric, looking forward to listening to the podcast. Pleased to hear it. Esto, honest moments bring up the best out of people for real. I'm all about honest moments. I got a little bit too honest in the growth group over on Discord today. Yeah, I always want to be transparent with the community. A lot of the community have ended up, becoming my, I don't know if I want to say real life friends because we haven't met in real life, but my digital real life friends. And yeah, I think it's important, no matter if the YouTube stops growing today or continues to grow to Andrew Wang levels. I think it's always important to be super transparent. I do the same with like sponsors and stuff. Weird sponsors reach out every single day, and I'm like, dude, I don't want my community to think that I'm trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. I only work with people that add to our workflows. And it's the same with like the Discord. I try and be as candid as possible, as transparent as possible. So we talk about depression. We talk about our struggles, things that are going on. I've been pretty depressed the last couple of weeks. But it's cool. It's like part of the ups and downs of life, right? You have these big depressions because there was probably something before that was like a major up, and then you have these major downs. And I live life in those major pockets. I'm trying to like balance it out a little bit more. But yeah, so I'm quite transparent about that, and I think it's fine because you just got to keep. I had a little cry today in a coffee shop, and it was midday, so it was busy. I was like beavering away, and just like let's just start crying. I had to go to the toilet, left my laptop and everything there. Like, yeah, man, it happens. It's all part of the fun of life. So yeah, absolutely. Those honest moments, they bring out the best in people, and you really know who you can fuck with in those honest reflections. So yeah, awesome. Make a video on Liminal House. I might have to do a little bit of homework there, and come back to you because that's a new name for me. Hey, Jono's come for the silky smooth voice. You are now tuned in to at the Will Hatton. Very thankful you're here with us, spreading love and wisdom, man. Hey, man. I appreciate you being here with me. Just being kind. It's like one of the kindest communities. I can't believe we've created this community together. It's one of the most lovely, kind-hearted, helpful communities. Not for me, it's not a one-way thing. Like, you guys help each other. We'll boost each other up in the playlist. That's why we got Share Your Work. That's why we got like the Lo-Fi Focus playlist. That's why we all share our own music and playlists. And we got Track Surgery over on the Patreon and stuff. Like, everybody's super helpful. I love this community so much. DJ Emo says, Emo, DJ Emo, me and you both. Mum, it wasn't a phase. You were born to feel and for feelings designed for it. Stay strong. You're built exactly for it. Yeah, absolutely. Right back at you. We all are. Alp says, keep it rolling, Will. You're doing a great job, and I'm happily subscribed to your page and keep it coming. Thank you so much. Thanks for being subscribed to the page. What shall I do? Shall I let's outro this by maybe shall I don't know, give you guys a sample or something? Should we play some piano and maybe you guys can sample something? Because I haven't really done anything on this stream that was like musical, but I've been messing around with like a chord progression for quite some time, and I might just give it to you guys to see if you could do anything with it. Do you want it as MIDI or do you want it as audio? I may as well just do it as both, huh? Let's get like a nice patch going. I'll bring open my screen share and then I'll switch it to my camera so you can actually see what I'm doing. I'm going to get a 2-camera setup in a bit. I've got the other camera, but I haven't set it up because I haven't got enough USB spots. So I had to order another dongle. Let's go with the upright. We'll start with the upright. Have we got the decent sampler in here as well? Let's see. Awesome. Oh, see what I mean? Like, I can drag that onto a new track and it will create a new track, but it won't give me the instrument. What is going on? All right, we'll use the upright and we'll just put some like slightly nicer sounds on it. We can't use Valhalla, can we? Because apparently we don't have any of our plugins today. So we're going to put the hybrid reverb down on a bus. I don't know if we want any like delay or anything. That's nice. With a little bit of EQ. So I've actually been messing around with this chord progression for years, and I think I might just give it to you guys. Let's maybe aim my camera down so you can see what I'm doing. Is that better? There we go. And let's move this out the way. So I've been messing around with this literally since I was about like 14, I think. So maybe I'll give you something from here. Let me make sure I can see these comments. I'm definitely gonna have to rescan my my plugins for sure. You're right there, buddy. Let's just play for a bit and see if we can find something for you guys to just have at the end of the session. I'll put it up on the Discord. It won't be on the Patreon or anything. But if you want to support the show, head over to the Patreon. Patreon.com/The Will Hatton. Bonuses every week. I think there's about 200 plus things from plugins to templates to devices, and then bonus episodes as well. And I'll also be putting the unedited versions of the podcast over there eventually as well, because we end up talking for about 2 hours, and I'll be cutting it down. So yeah, I'll put this up on the Discord. If you want to support, if you want to grab some cool devices, head over to the Patreon. What else can I say? The podcast is out. I'm really happy with it. And yeah, man, be good to yourselves. Hmm. Let me turn my mic off so you don't get all of that keyboard noise. I'll just kind of play you guys out, record something. Yeah. Hope everybody's had a good day, having a good day, depending on your time zone. And yeah, man. Be honest with those emotions. Feel stuff. Big love. That's got to be the sample, no? I'll record that in. I think I'll record that in. Let's see. I don't know what the tempo. I don't know what the tempo needs to be. About that. I'm a drummer, so I don't know if you noticed in the most recent video that that who did I do? The most recent episode got some mad hate for not sounding enough like the artist. But there's one thing in that video where I just record the drums without a metronome, and nobody noticed that. I just set it and then was like, "These are the drums," and it was like mad on grid. That's just drummer shit, man. But if I play the keys, I have to have this metronome on. Otherwise, I'll get all out of time. Let's see if I can play that again. I'm probably gonna mess up a lot. Let's see. All right. All right. That's what you're getting. I'm going to throw this in the Discord for anybody that wants it. Let's just see if we got the right one. I don't think it was that one. I think it was this. But I kind of liked the opening of the previous one. I think I like this opener. Yeah, so we'll take that. We'll start it over here. Oh yeah, we'll start it over here. Ba-da-ba. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, aces. This was fun. It was enjoyable to sit down with you guys for however long. And I'll throw that in. Where's the best place to throw that in? Announcements? Will I put it in announcements? I'll put it in a channel. Share your work. That makes the most sense, doesn't it? I'll put it in share your work. Or the collaborate channel. Jesus Christ, we've got so many channels that I could post it in. The collaborate channel. I've decided it's going in the collaborate channel. If you want it, you can grab it. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's always a pleasure. Never a chore. I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Have a great rest of your day. I always take so long to end the video because I don't know how to sign these things out. Bye.
And I got too much style, and I got too much swag, and I got too much, and I got too much, and I got too much, and I got too much style, and I got too much sauce, and I got too much. Hey, big capo, they know that I'm too. I ain't gotta prove much. Levels, they know that I'm different. I shoot and score and do it in two touch. I put work in, but you never do much. Things I'm hearing ain't good. I'm clearing the rubbish and picking a broom up. So I ain't new to a cleanup. Do an album, it could be a deluxe. I don't do things that never could mean much. Stripes some early Adidas. Wake in the morning, pray into Jesus. Loved ones, I'm grateful. The sound of capo, countless wheel-ups. And I got too much style, and I got too much swag, and I got too much sauce, and I got too much, and I got too much swag, and I got too much style, and I got too much sauce, and I got In a group I'm working solo. Go keep in a smiling photo. Go studio, anime bangers. Everyone knows I ain't good with the promo or marketing. I got slappers and I got heart rhythm. Top boy that everyone's targeting.
Hey, Semper.
In a group I'm working solo. Go teeth when I'm smiling photo. Go studio, anime bangers. Everyone knows I ain't good with a promo or marketing. I got slappers and I got heart rhythm. Top boy that everyone's targeting. I'm a barist, they can't just bar with him. And I got too much style. And I got too much swag. And I got too much sauce. And I got too much. And I got too much swag. And I got too much style.